and we'll continue to have those conversations. It's not like they haven't been had. We've had a few of them. So, I guess the challenge will be is that, look at the positivity of our the way that we play and what puts us in those positions. And that's what we'll probably tend to focus on. It doesn't necessarily mean that we accept it all. We'll challenge where we need to challenge. But when you're coming away, if you strip it all back, you're coming away to venue, you're playing against an opposition that's been in pretty good form for the first half of the year, had a very, very dominant first half. And we're obviously able to play out the game with some challenges and not exactly the way we'd want to finish the game, but we get the result, and that's an important 4 points.
With Harry McKay, to see.
G'day guys, welcome. Hopefully I'll keep this short and sweet. Did Vossi really say that in the press conference? That the Eagles have been in pretty good form for the first half of the year? Wow. I think they're on the bottom of the ladder, the last I checked, and they've won one game with a percentage of 69%. But anyway, they've been in pretty good form. I think I kind of know what he means. They've been, I don't know, their attitude may be a little bit different under Andrew McGualter. They certainly showed that after quarter time. 12 months ago, if we'd started like that against the Eagles, that would have been it. It would have been all over. All over as in, that would have been potentially 100-point loss. But he must have said something to them at quarter time, just like Brad Scott said something to Essendon at quarter time last week. And they came out and they were a lot better at the contest and all that type of stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's impossible to say. It's impossible to say whether we have shown any improvement since the bye. Impossible. And that was always going to be the case, because it doesn't matter whether we won this game by 100 points, whether we beat Essendon by 10 goals. I think a lot of us would have been just going, well, let's just wait and see. The real tests are going to come up. Potentially it's a test next week against North, but I think we're all looking a little bit further than that. Port Adelaide away. You've got Fremantle away. You've got Collingwood again. There's a lot of games. We've still got to play Brisbane yet. So there's a lot of games that we prefer to be benchmarking ourselves against. But frankly, we're just not a very good football team. We're just not a very good football team. And good luck trying to work out whether it's coaching, whether it's a list issue, a depth issue, a quality issue across the board, or a combination of both. But I'm just going to say it. And maybe some of these players in time will prove me wrong, and some of them will, but this isn't about the future for some of these players. This is about the now. But no one can tell me that Fantasia, Fogarty, Durden, Motlop, Chincotta, and unfair on these four, because they are young and they're playing now, which is good. Cooper Lord, Jackson Binns, Matthew Carroll, Hudson O'Keefe, and then chuck in some veterans who I think are gone. They're gone. One of them's contracted for another 2 years after this year. And it's just come really quickly for him, I think. And the other, I think he'll play out the rest of the year and it could be it, and that is Doherty and Akers. But there's all those players there. None of them would get a game. None of that group would get a game for any of those top teams in the competition. None of them. They might sneak a game here or there if there were a heap of injuries, but to rely on that group with that amount of, I don't know, I don't think we've got a great list. And if you think I'm just sort of jumping on the bandwagon with this, I'm not. I said 2 months before the start of the season that our list was a C+ list, and expect more pain to come. And I'm not saying I've proven to be right, because maybe there's a number of coaching issues as well, but I don't see the quality in the list like some others do. And that's just my point of view. And that's not a knock on those players as individuals, as footballers, because they're all decent footballers, potentially at VFL level. Occasionally they'll play reasonable football at AFL level, but I just think we've got to, after the sort of the quality that we've got on our list, I think it just drops away so much. And now we're in a position now where our depth is going to be tested even more, which is kind of exciting because I think the season, although we're hanging on, I think it's kind of wishful thinking that we're going to have any real impact or say in this season now. That it's kind of, I don't know, don't know about exciting, but I look forward to potentially seeing Billy Wilson play or Hammy Lemmy, just get opportunities just to see them, because they will essentially become hopefully the core group of this club moving forward. And we need to kind of see them now. Like, we need to see them now, particularly someone like Harry Lemmy and Billy Wilson. They've been on the list now for, I think Wilson's been on the list for 2 years. Is this Lemmy's third year? We've kind of got to see them to see what they can offer at the level. But I'm not believing in this list. And I want to try and keep it, I know it's a negative way to start, but I want to keep it, if we're going to be working with Michael Voss moving forward, and that's my sense is we will, he'll get to see out his contract, and maybe there's some reservations with that. I don't know what they're thinking, but that's the feeling. My feeling is he'll see out his contract. Is he doing anything right? Because there seems to be so much negativity about Michael Voss in our coaching group. So you tell me, is that a quality list, really? Is that a quality list? In terms of just skill, X factor, smarts, and that could be coaching as well and development. But what's he doing well, yeah? What's he doing fucking well? And what is a decent platform to maybe work with moving forward with this coach? And I'll put this graphic up here, and I know this has been spoken about a lot, guys, and it happened again yesterday, and that is our starts, first quarters in 2025. And it is, when you look at that, and you look at where we are on the ladder, and you look at how kind of underwhelming we have been in regards to consistency across 4 quarters, and it's a 4-quarter game. It's a 4-quarter game. And I can't get my head around, is it a list issue? Are these players actually kind of good enough to be able to play 4 quarters of football? Or is there something wrong with the way this group is being coached? But you can't take that away, from the coach and the coaching group. Anyone who's played the game at a reasonable level knows that starts are fucking vital. It means a couple of things. So why do you start well? It means that doesn't lie. And even the games we didn't win the first quarter, like the Hawthorn game, we were right in at the quarter time, and same with the GWS game. It was a super first quarter, 5 goals apiece, etc., etc. The only game where you could probably question the mindset somewhat was the game against Adelaide on the road, but it wasn't horrendous. It was 5 goals to 2, and it was nowhere near as bad as it was back in 2023, where they were basically 7 goals up at quarter time. So starting well, it's coaching. It's coaching. It's being well prepared and well planned. Doing obviously a fair bit of homework into your opposition, and coming with such a strong mindset to start well. And I've never once, and you know how negative I am, I've never once gone to a game this year thinking, fuck, I hope we're switched on. I hope we're ready to play. I've certainly started to lose confidence as the game has gone on. I've certainly done that, but never, not for one game have I thought, fuck, I hope we're on in this game. You know, it's been anything up. It's been anything but that. Anything but that. So all those naysayers out there, and I don't want to be picking fights or pointing the fingers at people who just are so off-ice, but tell me, you explain to me, and once again, I'm not excusing our drop-offs in games. I'm not. But you tell me why a team can start so well. You tell me why a team can start so well. And don't just say that's a player-driven thing. It's not. That's an ability for coaches to get the team up from week to week in a tough competition. To be able to have them switched on. And we have never really wavered from that in one game this year. Never. And you could kind of understand sometimes that could happen, but not with us. Not with us. It has to be seen as a big positive. All right. I'm going to go on to some individual things here. George Hewitt and Adam Cerra, 13 games each this year. And once again, superb yesterday. 35 touches to Hewitt, having an outstanding season. The pressure probably coming on him this year with us releasing Matthew Kennedy, who's been superb for the Western Bulldogs. Also having that back issue to put out a performance like he has this year, 35 touches, probably best on ground once again, controlled the midfield, absolutely outstanding. To get the 13 games with Adam Cerra with all those hamstring injuries, and those two boys have been easily our most consistent midfielders this year. Easily. Which is a massive tick and a massive positive moving forward because Hewitt signed a 2-year contract and Cerra's on a relatively long deal. So individually, that's a big tick for me. A big tick. I think, don't get me wrong here, I've just said that Jackson Binns shouldn't be playing. I don't know if I rate him, but it's a fair fucking effort to come in when you lose Sam Walsh and come in and you have 26 touches, you've been dropped. Your form was pretty good last year, late in the year, and one of the reasons why we won over in the West in his game against St Kilda in the last game of the year was okay as well, but you get dropped for an elimination final. He's one player that's had to really earn his stripes and earn a game in this football team. He's only played 7 games. He had 26 touches, 538 metres gained. He struggles with his kicking. But he did a lot of his work, in the back half. Worked hard defensively, improved his game. I actually hope he plays for the rest of the season. I know form will dictate that. But if you can't, there's been question marks on Jackson Binns. You know, has he got not so much the attitude, but does he work hard enough defensively? But that's a really sound game of football coming in, not being preferred, was probably going to play VFL until Sam Walsh. I think that's a really big tick. I hope he holds his spot. I'm not sold on him, but it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. He's no Ollie Dempsey. Put it that way. He's no Ollie Dempsey. And he wouldn't get a game at Geelong or Collingwood, but there might be something to work with because we need to see more of him. I'm loving the year of the hard running Ollie Hollands. Just another really good game yesterday. 536 metres gained. He left off. He played like he left off last week. Does that make sense? I think you know what I mean. His last quarter against Essendon was eye-catching last week, and his performance once again this week was eye-catching. He's kind of like in the like Jackson Binns, in that they're not great users, and this is like kind of part of our problem. Yeah, like we've got these hard-running blokes who've got great energy, but just, I don't know, they kind of make mistakes and they're a little bit messy. But they've got something about them that we need to persevere with. And I just think he's had a super year, and that, he's had the confidence to go down back and learn a new position and all that type of stuff. And I'll give a bit of a tick to Mitch McGovern as well. And this is, you look at McGovern, Williams, and we had to let Martin go. But we got 13 games out of Mitch McGovern this year, and it's been a long fucking haul with Williams and also McGovern, trying to get the best out of him. He's got a big month coming up. Well, I mean a big month. Now that it looks like Harry and Charlie are not going to play, it's a huge month for him. Going to be a really important player in front of the ball in our front half as a forward. So I'm just what I'm trying to say to you guys, I'm trying to stay positive. I really am. I think there's so many holes and question marks with this list, as there should be with the coaches as well, and everyone at the football clubs. There's enough time to get us to be a lot more competitive and advanced than what we are. But I need something to hang on to. I just really do. I need something to hang on to with this group. And yeah, I mean, it was a game that kind of you didn't want to get too excited about. That's the way I put it. You just couldn't get too excited about, because you just knew the quality of the opposition, and it kind of, for the rest of the year, went to script. We started like a house on fire. I wouldn't say we looked $1 million, but against that opposition we did. And then we just found a way to have players, just drift out of the game, make poor decisions, turn the ball over, play conservatively. How much of that is coach-driven? I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I really can't. But I do have, as I've said before, and I'll keep saying it again, I do have concerns about the quality of this list, and it needs to be improved. Anyway, I'll speak soon to you guys. Take care. Goodbye for now.